Evening, evening, evening. Right, here we are. I sound like a landlord of a pub then. Sorry, I'll just adjust that a bit. I'll look a bit like a rabbit in the headlights. Right, okay. Yeah. Welcome everybody to my live Reconnect series on Thursday evening at 7:30 British Summer Time. Tonight's going to be a really good one. Tonight we're going to be talking about abundance and how everything is energy and vibration. So we're going to be looking at that tonight. So I'll start in a few minutes while everybody starts to get logged on, because I know some people are logging on tonight. And if you're here live, you can put hashtag live. If you're here on replay, if you can put hashtag replay, that would be really great. And if you're a newbie, hashtag newbie. And of course, if you've got any questions, put them in the chat box and hopefully I'll get around to them. I will try and get around to them during the session. But tonight, tonight's topic, excuse me, getting comfy. Like a chicken then. Tonight's topic is abundance and how it all comes from energy and vibration, and how that relates to where you live and what you're trying to achieve in your business. So let's look at energy and vibration, how I approach it from a geomantic point of view. So you live in a house that has a particular energies, and we need to work out how comfortable are you in that house? How do you feel in that house? Does it serve and support your goals? What happened? You know, are you happy living there? Are you not happy living there? Because where you live and how you interact with the consciousness of the place where you live has a big impact on what you're able to achieve. Now, I do various bits of mentoring with people on the sacred feminine and all sorts of things. But what has really got me to this point over the years is how people fail to oh, is that the cat? Fail, something brushing my leg then. How people don't realise that they interact with the consciousness of place and earth energies all the time. They're just not really aware of it. So what I really wanted to talk about was the importance of that, and recognising that you can talk, if you like, talk to these energies and they can serve and support you. As I say, they can help you with your goals. But what I wanted to talk about, I keep saying that, what I want to talk about, let's look at sort of how people are. Now, when I was a child, or so that ever since I was a child, I've spoken about this before, I've been able to see energies permeating and surrounding everything, this huge big kaleidoscope of energies. So there'll be a pattern around my hand that forms part of a kaleidoscope sort of pattern, what do you call it, fractal pattern that belongs to the whole of me. So my hand is part of a bigger fractal, is me. Now my fractal doesn't actually end. My fractal, my sort of aura, whatever they may be, becomes part of a smaller pattern within a bigger picture. So it just keeps going out and out and out and out and out into these fields, these different fields of information where everything is connected. But seeing all these patterns is great, but when someone would come up to me as I got older and start talking about these patterns, they would inevitably say, what does it mean? Well, if I showed you a picture of a fractal and said to you, what does it mean? It doesn't actually mean anything, does it? It's just a pattern, it's just a form. And as a child, I would see some negative patterns and some negative influences. They felt, all I can describe is they didn't feel right. They didn't feel right, they felt uncomfortable, they felt wrong. And I didn't have the life experience to recognize what some of these feelings were. So although I've always been able to see energies, which is great, it didn't help me make the same goddamn awful mistakes that most people make. And it also, it wasn't that I didn't respect the energies, it was that I couldn't see a way of using those things within my life to help me make a better life until I reached a certain point. Because we're all co-creators of our life. We are not totally responsible for everything that happens to others. There are things that happen to us that are way beyond our control. They're part of the development of the universe, and we can get caught up in patterns that are beyond our control. So although we think it's a unique experience to us, and we are uniquely experiencing it as us, it's not necessarily something that we've got absolute control over. So we are caught up in these bigger cycles, these bigger patterns, and it's really helpful if you can learn how to recognize that, and how you can negotiate what is actually yours and what is not yours. And working with earth energies and working with other consciousnesses is a great way of establishing that. Now, as I say, as I was growing up, I would see all these energies and I couldn't necessarily work out what they were. So I ended up going down the same route that so many people go down, and so many women go down, of the, I've got the job, I'm getting married, I'm having children. And don't get me wrong, I love my children. My marriage turned into an extremely abusive one. But that was reminiscent, if you like, of a pattern that had been occurring throughout my life. So the lessons in my family, in my ancestral line, were about women being extremely subservient, giving completely, and absolutely being treated like, the worst of the worst. And I got to the point in my life where I feel like I was backed into a corner, that my own physical safety and the physical safety of my own children was at risk. So at that point in time, you have to do something. You become, you're like a dog backed into a corner. You're going to retaliate. I mean, I didn't retaliate, but, fleeing was the only option at that point in time. So then personally, I got stuck. Even though I can see all these wonderful energies, it's all great, it's all beautiful, life is beautiful, I'm sat there thinking, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm working with these energies. I know they're there, I can see them. I'm doing my morning meditation. I'm doing my morning rituals. I'm doing my affirmations. I'm waiting for great things to happen. Consciously, I know that this change is possible. I know I can do it. I know it should be happening, but it's not. Now I see so many people doing that. They're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing the other. They're doing the morning rituals, they're doing the affirmations. They're going round and round and round and round. And what happens is you're going and it's going around and round and round your head. All that's happening is you're just thinking it. You're not really feeling it, and you're certainly not embodying it. You're not becoming what you need to become to make these changes. So you're stuck in this thinking mode. I'm doing my affirmations, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You're looking at every post on the internet that says, new energies are coming in, the universe is changing, new energies are coming in, just sit and relax and wait for the new energies to come in. Well, how many times have you sat there and listened to that and waited for things to change? And how many times have they? How many times has your life suddenly changed to be something else? It doesn't. And we can have a mindset, if you like, that says, I'm doing the affirmations, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But from looking at people's energies, it only ever exists in sort of like the head area. You're stuck in your own head. You're stuck in your own thinking. Now, working with other levels of consciousness, if you like, in the natural world was a big thing for me, and with the clients that I work with, in stepping out of their head and enabling them to feel and really embody what they need to become. Because I don't solely concern myself with manifestation, because there are many coaches that do that, but it's part of what I do, is to manifest your new reality. And manifestation is transformation. You have to transform yourself for new things to manifest. So you go through a process of transformation, getting out of your head and embodying what you need to become. By embodying, by the way, I don't mean dressing up in floaty dresses and wandering across cornfields going, oh, I'm all ethereal. No, quite frankly, I'd look like a weather balloon that had come to ground. So that's not the way forward for me. So what I decided to do was really get to grips with earth energies and what they call the more than human realms of consciousness in nature. Because by doing that, I worked out that we are extremely affected by earth energies and the planets and the sun and the moon and all sorts of things. The earth itself has so many different frequencies and energy bodies that we can work with. And by working with the consciousnesses within nature, the genius loci, the spirit of place, the more than human realms of consciousness, I actually found it really helpful, because it took the onus off me to solve everything. By getting in touch with nature, it's like having your mother. She is Mother Nature. She has your back. She wants you to win. She wants you to succeed. She herself, Mother Nature, is the queen of abundance, isn't she? I mean, the whole of the universe is Mother Nature. We are nature. Look how abundant the universe is. Mother Nature can pop flowers and rabbits and birds and trees and mountains and planets and storms and weather. She can just create all the time. So why do we struggle? Why can't we do it? Why can't we create the lives that we want? Because so much we're wrapped up in our own head of thinking, and we're thinking what we need to achieve. We're thinking we want this thing, but our subconscious programming is so deep we don't even know it's there, and it's so deep it can be really difficult to override. So we might be thinking, I want abundance, I want abundance, I'm doing my affirmations, but how are we acting to bring that about? So it's a question of looking at what you're saying and what you're doing, because if the two things aren't marrying up, then you know that you're not there. And I think in terms of actions, that was key for me, for realizing that although I was saying these things and I thought I was doing them, I was sort of doing them isolated in my head, in my own home way. I wasn't going out there into the world and saying, I'm fearless, this is what I do, this is how I work with earth energies. And by working with these earth energies, you're working with a consciousness and an ability to manifest that's much bigger than you are. And it's like you can springboard things into action by working with the consciousnesses of place, the earth energies where you live. So for instance, if you've got a business, one of the things I'd be looking at as a geomancer is the consciousness of your business. Who is your business? It's probably going to be an extension of you, but almost it has a life of its own, because if you're not creating a business, if you want a big business, you want an international online business, if that business can't function without you, then you're not creating what you set out to do. My business functions whether I'm here or not. So you're creating a business that then, if it, in essence, takes on a life of its own. So it has a consciousness of its own. So you can work with that consciousness of your business to help it flourish. So you and it and the nature in where you live all start to work together. We would look at energy, letting the right energy into your business. Does it serve and support your business? What are the energetic boundaries of your business? What do you want in? What do you want to keep out that could be depleting? Isn't the right customer? Isn't this and that? So you can set up these sort of, by working with nature, these sort of energetic matrices, get there in the end, sound like a wasp that was dying. More than one energetic matrix to deal with your business, if you like. It becomes a consciousness, and you can use where you are to tune into these things. So I'm going to talk about how my program works, because I developed this program, Sacred Feminine Living, to help women, particularly successful women in business, bring in this extra dimension to their business. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to create, if you like, a mechanism that would help women get out of their own head and going out in nature and being with trees and learning how to read and tune in to these earth energies on a physical and subconscious and, if you like, conscious level as well. So you can really feel these earth energies and consciousnesses as something that you can actually really work with, that you're forming a relationship with, that they understand what you're trying to achieve and they can support you. So what the program does, what the Sacred Feminine Living program does, it is a series of one-to-one sessions with me. Every quarter we will have a big one-to-one session where I will work with you to geomance your property, to get it from wherever it is now, and some places can be quite detrimental, so we'll be going from detrimental through into neutral, where it's not doing anything that's harming your business, but it's okay, and then we take it right out the other side into positive. So if you imagine in terms of energies, the worst place energies that you felt, or maybe, I don't know, let's say battlefields or play pits or something where something really hasn't gone right. That's your real negative energy. Your house might not be that bad, but you never know how old your property is and what's happened to it. Neutral is it's just ticking along. It's just okay. It's not really doing anything either way. It's just functioning. The positive end of it, positive power centers, if you like, they're the big things. They're things like, the biggest embodiment of those are things like Stonehenge, the pyramids, stone rows, citadels on huge mountain tops, Machu Picchu. They are built on energy formations that are particularly sacred, that are particularly powerful. And what the program does is I can teach you how to make, if you like, a mini power center within your property, within your grounds, within your garden, with structures, or we can lay that out with particular patterns. So you've got somewhere to go on a daily basis to talk to the levels of consciousness in nature and in Mother Nature, and talk to the bigger things, tune into them, really get a handle on how you're feeling, and get out of your conscious mind to stop this monkey mind prattling on, because that's the mind that stops us succeeding. That's the mind that when we're coming on live like this, the mind that says, nobody's going to be watching, nobody's going to be listening. What have I got to offer the world? Oh God, do I look fat? Oh God, does my hair look all right? All those kind of things are your monkey mind, and it's that's holding you back. And we worry about what other people are going to think of us, and we sort of overlook the fact that if I'm so paranoid about what the other people are thinking about me, so's everybody. Nobody is actually thinking about anybody else much of the time. They're all thinking about themselves. They're all thinking about their own inadequacies and their own insecurities, and they're not really engaging in any way with anyone else. They're just going, oh my God, I'm not adequate. And they'll look at you doing your Facebook Live, no matter how botched up it is, like some of mine are, because I'm real and I get it wrong. But they'll look at you doing your live and go, oh my God, I couldn't dare do that. It's about just trying, and it's about just showing up, and it's about showing up regularly, and it's about people seeing you as a real human being. And that's really important in business. People need to know who you are, and they need to know where your intent lies. So I created this Sacred Feminine Living program. It's a 12-month long program. We have these one-to-one quarterly sessions where I will literally go through the geomantic techniques within your property. You'll learn everything from how to dowse for water, to working with labyrinths, to communing with trees, working about what happens to your brain chemistry on lunar cycles. We'll be looking at yoga nidra techniques to break into that subconscious mind, so that you can be the person that you're supposed to be. But working with nature means you have a support team, means you have backup. It means somebody else that's got your back. Like I said, Mother Nature is our mother, and she wants us to survive. I said she's created this beautiful universe and world of abundance. And there's nothing wrong with wanting an abundant life. There's nothing wrong with wanting financial freedom. There's nothing wrong with wanting time freedom. The rat race keeps us down. We weren't designed to live like that. If we can escape that rat race, then we can give our gifts to other people. We can give them our experience, our knowledge. So if you're holding yourself back, you're holding your gifts back from the world. So there's no reason to hold yourself back. You don't have to know much more than the other person. You just have to know more than them. So if I couldn't knit completely, I would go to someone just to teach me how to knit. If I wanted someone, then I became a better knitter. If I wanted someone who's going to teach me how to knit Aran sweaters, then the first knitter becomes obsolete and I move on to the next teacher. And that's how things work. But as I say, I created my Sacred Feminine Living program to be a set of tools that you could go back to and visit time and time again. So once you've got them, you can go back and work through the cycles of the year and the lunar cycles. You can work through how earth energies move and shift to create this optimum environment for you and your business in that place. Not anyone else. I mean, obviously you've set it up for your family if you've got family as well, but it's about you creating the perfect energy setup in your patch. But interestingly, what that does has profound influences for the whole area around where you live. So if everybody concerned themselves with doing their little patch, it would completely change the energetic matrix around you. I mean, really interestingly, sacred sites, I said I used to live in Ireland, sacred sites have a certain size and mass, and their area of influence, if you like, covers so many miles around them. If they're all in place and still sort of working and functioning and maintained, all their areas of influence would meet up. And that's true of the UK as well, and probably many other countries that have all just disappeared from. So the whole country is then geomanced. It has the optimum energy you can get to thrive, to survive, but more importantly, thrive. So it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. And the Sacred Feminine Living Program, I say, it becomes a tool. It's an in-depth program, because I share what I've learned actually all my life, because I've always been able to see energy. So I'm sharing a lifelong development with you of how I've got to be where I am, how I've got to achieve, stepping out of a mindset that was so limited and I wasn't even aware of it, so that I ended up having sort of a long-term abusive relationship in one way, getting out of that one, and then going into a highly abusive marriage. As I said, I had to flee with 2 kids in a car and 3 carrier bags, to creating my own business and creating a completely new life. So it's a set of tools, and I've actually used that connection with nature that I've always felt to achieve that, and that's what I've developed over the time, and that's what I've worked with in my clients. I don't want you to be going around in your head, going, oh, I'm burning a pink candle, I'm doing the affirmations, but it's not all happening. As I say, it's about feeling and it's about embodying, which is what I say in the description of the program. I am passionate about reconnecting women to the ancient spirituality and divine power of the sacred feminine. It's about us getting out of our head. It's about us not taking the low road, about not just being the wife, the mother, the support act. It's about us coming into our own power. And how we do that is through the embodiment of creative and generative forces that can give form to your dreams. You create a new way of being. You create opportunities for new things to come into your life. And you do it in sync with the patterns of nature that are all around you anyway. There are cycles of time that you can work with on a yearly basis. There are cycles of time that you can work with on a monthly basis. The earth energies constrict in midwinter and they expand out to midsummer, and they gradually constrict again to midwinter. There's this ebb and flow all the time. And the problem we have in a lot of modern societies that we're constantly on, we're all about flow. We must get this flow. It's all about action. And it can be quite aggressive. Nothing ever continuously flows. It flows and ebbs. It flows and ebbs. So if you're trying to push flow when you're in an ebb mode, you're going to feel like you're stuck. So there are times to work out that actually, now I'm ebbing. Now I need to take those quiet times, those reflective times, a bit of downtime before I need to move forward again. It's tidal because of the moon. Everything comes like that. So it's not that you're not moving forward. It's just that you're not moving forward like an arrow. You're moving forward like this. And that's in sync. And that actually takes a huge amount of pressure off you to just go out there and crush it and slay it, which is also the patriarchal language of aggression. Women don't work like that. We're collaborative. We work together. We need to take account of the fact that sometimes we've got high energy because of our own hormones. Sometimes we haven't. And we need to take account of where we are in our own lives. Young women have a different kind of energy than women who are getting to the menopause or through the menopause, or who've got young children and can hardly keep their eyes open for any amount of time of day. So, our lives go through sort of huge transitionary periods. I'm not saying men don't, but, they're not my bag. So, as in working with them, that sounded a bit odd, didn't it? So what I wanted was to create a core program that you could come back to again and again and again, that you could dip into. And for the first 12 months, you'll have me with you talking it through it. So that's the Living Program. If you want to sign up, go to faithsemple.com /the-program, but you'll find it in the top menu, and that will give you details of the program. So yes, sign up. Places are limited. I'm going to be doing it with a small group only, because it does take quite a lot of learning. It's quite intensive, it's quite challenging, But if you are a successful female entrepreneur and you want to take your growth to the next level, this is, you know, it's manifestation out the other side. This is beyond that. So yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed listening. And if you've got any comments or you want to put them in as we go, you know, I say I'll answer them after the fact. So yeah, have a good evening, everybody. And yeah, I hope to see you all again soon. Thanks, Em. Bye.